Hey everybody, Eric back with another DVD review in the wrestling world. We're going to talk about a old one, but a good one. The 2003 No Way Out pay-per-view put on by the WWE, February 23rd, 2003 to be exact. This one defined by an excellent lower card and a mediocre upper card. Just going to run through some of the matches, talk about what I felt about the show itself, and whether or not I think you should pick it up on DVD. It's actually part of a tagged classics series that WWE put out, combined with the Royal Rumble from 2003. It's interesting to pick this one up because if you get these two and you already have WrestleMania 19 from that year, then you'll have the Road to Mania completed. So I will be talking about WrestleMania 19 on a later DVD review as well. So this No Way Out pay-per-view is usually a weaker pay-per-view because it's sandwiched between the Rumble and Mania, the two probably biggest pay-per-views of the year. And the card sometimes struggles to live up to its billing, especially in recent years. But this particular card was intriguing. They kicked things off with Chris Jericho versus Jeff Hardy. Now, we all know how significant that is now in the wrestling world, considering Jeff Hardy has won multiple world titles, and Chris Jericho has built off of his undisputed championship reign with some world title reigns of his own. Interesting that these two would kick off a show. But it just kind of shows you the strength in name that's on this particular card. These two had a great match to open the show. The Canadian crowd, of course, loved Chris Jericho. I always love listening to a Canadian audience, even when they're completely stupid, just because it's such an interesting take on what's going on in wrestling, and they always seem to know, always seem to have their pulse, finger on the pulse of what's happening in wrestling. And while they were okay with Jeff Hardy on offense, they sometimes just wanted to see Jericho beat down the foreigner. So, great match between those two. Loved the work both of them did. Jericho winds up winning that one, but Shawn Michaels winds up interfering, making his return to Montreal for the first time since 1997. Montreal is the site of the pay-per-view, and that kind of plays into it as well, the way some of these other matches wound up being played out. World Tag Team Championship match, William Regal and Lance Storm, who actually regained the tag titles from the Dudleys following the last pay-per-view, took on Rob Van Dam and Kane. We all know RVD and Kane went on to be one of the more unique but successful tag teams in the company for a while. But Regal and Storm were able to pick up the victory thanks to Chief Morley in a great match. I really enjoyed the work that Storm and Regal did. RVD was fantastic in this match, especially RVD and Storm working together. Kane was his usual self in this match, but I really enjoyed watching this one as well, and two strong matches to open the show. Then there was kind of a lull, Cruiserweight Championship match, which was always a lull on a pay-per-view show anyway. Billy Kidman coming in as champion, taking on Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy, his story, of course, was that he was using Mattitude to lose weight and make it to the Cruiserweight division. These two had a phenomenal match. I was blown away at how good these two worked together. Unfortunately, though, for Billy Kidman, he suffered from that lack of charisma, so the crowd never seemed to get behind him, even when he made impressive moves. And Matt Hardy, of course, had the audience on his side despite being a heel. But they both played to their characters really well and put on a long match. It was a longer match than you would usually see out of the Cruiserweight division, especially at that time. But Matt Hardy picked up the victory and became Cruiserweight champion, so a historical significance to this No Way Out pay-per-view, as that would set Matt Hardy off on an interesting career path for the next
style wrestling to add to his repertoire. And it actually showed in this match pretty strongly. But Big Show definitely sold really well in that one. Undertaker just looked great. The crowd was really into it. So loved this match as well. So 4 matches in and 4 impressive matches returned. Then they had a 6-man tag match. Brock Lesnar, Chris Benoit, and scheduled to be Edge. We're going to take on Team Angle, Kurt Angle, Shelton Benjamin, and Charlie Haas. But Edge was attacked backstage and was not replaced. So it became a 2-on-3 handicap match between Lesnar and Benoit versus Team Angle. And this match was fantastic. I really liked the fact that they didn't get too involved in the 2-on-3 side of things and just played up the fact
that it was Team Angle versus, two had no friends in the audience in that one. And Chris Benoit gets the win in this one, too, with a submission over Charlie Haas. So I really thought
this match was well booked and well received by the audience and well executed. This being Triple H defending against Scott Steiner in a rematch of their Royal Rumble match. Unfortunately, this match not much better than the first one. The first match at Royal Rumble was actually considered the worst match of the year by Wrestling Observer, and I can't argue with that. It's one of the worst matches I've ever seen between two top talent wrestlers. This match didn't do a whole lot better, and the crowd wanted Triple H to kill Scott Steiner, which is not what the audience was supposed to be doing, according to the WWE storyline. So that kind of created a problem. Every time Scott Steiner got on offense, the crowd booed incessantly, while Triple H on offense got wild cheers. Steiner started playing up to the audience a little bit. And then, of course, you had a hooker crook finish with Evolution, which had just formed, helping Triple H retain his title. And, of course, this feud wound up really going nowhere because Scott Steiner was basically screwed out of 2 victories for the title. And at Mania 19, Triple H faced Booker T. So, kind of a waste of space, if you will. I think the WWE wanted a lot more out of that feud than they got. And, unfortunately, Scott Steiner's work ethic combined with his inability to mesh with Triple H, and then you throw in the fact that Triple H can't really carry anybody to a good match, just led to just another disappointing effort out of those two. Then you had sandwiched between that and the main event, you had Stone Cold Steve Austin returning to pay-per-view to take on Eric Bischoff. They were playing up the whole Eric Bischoff, Chief Morley, screwing over Jay. You weren't going to get it here. But the crowd was totally into it. So I guess that's all you Shell himself at this point in his career and was working with many injuries going into Mania 19. And Eric Bischoff, not a wrestler, so I wouldn't recommend picking up this match if you were looking to seek out anything individually off this card. Then the main event, The Rock, Hulk Hogan 2. Does anyone know why these matches, Hogan Rock 1 and Hogan Rock 2, were both held in Canada? Not really sure why they did that, but this match was actually somewhat decent. You're going to get that out of The Rock and Hogan. They're both consummate performers. They know exactly how to manipulate an audience and put on a good show. As long as Hogan's working with good talent, he's going to put on his best game, and The Rock never disappoints. So it wasn't disappointing, but this was also the birth of Sylvain Grenier, the crooked referee, who would go on to be a wrestler after being in the pocket of Vince McMahon. Hogan had the match won. Lights go out. Hogan wakes up. Ref's knocked out. Vince McMahon comes to ringside. Ref helps Rock with a chair. Hogan gets taken out. Ref counts to 3. That's how that one ended. So, but that set up the Hogan-McMahon feud going into WrestleMania 19. It did a good job of doing that, but I think the crowd was a little disappointed with the way the match ended, and personally I was too. But, with Hulk Hogan, we all know the politics behind his bookings, so I'm sure he did not want to lose cleanly to The Rock, and The Rock did not deserve to lose cleanly to Hogan, so it is what it is. So I would say, if I had to rank it out of 5 stars, I would give this 3.5. I was actually pleasantly surprised with how well the card came off, how good some of the matches were on the card. Disappointed with the final 3 matches as a whole, but the first 5 matches were great.
especially for a No Way Out pay-per-view. And so I definitely enjoyed it, and I would recommend picking this one up. This tagged classic combined with the Royal Rumble 2003 is worth a look. So I would give this one 3.5 out of 5 stars. As far as bonus content goes, not a whole lot. A couple of clips from Raw and SmackDown. And then Rey Mysterio versus Jamie Noble was the Sunday Night Heat match. Typical Sunday Night Heat match, though, so nothing special there. So that's my review of No Way Out 2003. Look for me to have another review up in the coming days with another classic pay-per-view or perhaps one of the documentary biographies. So I'll see you back soon.